Indian Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said that the mortality or the death rate for breast cancer in women is the highest in India compared to the world. We are today going to really focus on early stage cancer, and that's very important because we do not want information to be misunderstood. You have cancer today.
Yes.
It's not that you're cancer free,
Yes.
but the biggest difference is that without chemo, without allopathy, in the last few years, you've been able to live like anybody else.
I should thank this digital literacy world.
Yeah.
I started exploring internet and I just happened to come across Sadhguru's advices, suggestions. Actually, the first thing for any disease to worsen is should come out of fear. It kills you totally. Come out of it.
Yeah.
And instead of dreaming that you are going to live for many years, live now. How do you feel when you look at me?
I cannot believe that you have cancer. You look healthier and stronger than me.
People started looking at me and asking, what are you taking? What are you taking?
What is this?
That is buttermilk with curry leaves, gooseberry. When we try to have food, we remove the curry leaves and
aside.
Right? The goodness of it I had not
Very
understood.
true.
Even if one cell, bad cell, remains there, the cancerous cell, again you can get it back. You cannot collect the cancer cells and throw out. At one point, doctor raised his voice and he said, you seem to be educated. If you do not continue, you will go to the fourth stage. And then whenever I look at the mirror, I look at myself in the mirror, I'm not going to be this. I even thought of death, but then I came out of all that and I said, nothing doing. The simple exercise I tried to follow, it is all with these two palms. Rubbing, hitting like this.
I think you mentioned there's a power in the navel.
It rejuvenates. Any ailment, it can rectify. Believe in yourself. Remove the fear factor from you. Live in hope. Be ready to take risk. You cannot succeed without risks. You should have the guts to live. Face the humiliations. Come out of it.
Welcome to Vitamin B with Monia, and this is where we help you take control of your well-being. My guest today is Sujatha Francis, who is a cancer patient and in her 50s has found a way that naturopathy has helped her renew her health in terms of just how she's managing living with cancer and still seems to be getting better every single day. Our request to our listeners today is to be open-minded, think of what other alternatives exist for us to get strong, as well as the fact that with increasing mortality rates specific to breast cancer and India being the highest in that space, it becomes very important for all of us to really consider, along with chemotherapy as one option that most people are using, what else exists in the world of foods, diet, lifestyle, holistic well-being that can actually keep us strong as well as overcome something as dangerous as cancer. So sit back, listen, as well as let's widen our learning spectrum altogether. Hi Sujatha, welcome to Vitamin B. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. I'm really humbled to have you on the show.
Thank you for inviting. I was just waiting for this opportunity. It is a dream come true for me.
That's wonderful, Sujatha. When I stumbled upon your story, I thought we should certainly call you because it's a story of courage, of persistence, of actually having a non-conventional approach to dealing with something as painful and as sensitive as cancer. So thank you for taking time and actually joining us today.
Thank you.
Great. So feel comfortable, Sujatha, because I think a story like yours, we have to get into a lot of details. Make sure that we share the information that is actually going to help people. And also bring greater awareness of naturopathy, of different things that we anyways can use in our life, right? As people with or without any sort of disease, so that we can actually get really strong. So the very first thing I'd really like to understand is in 2019, around 2019 was when you really had your chemotherapy, you had gone through surgery, and also come about a few years till 2019 where you actually had cancer. And then
Yes.
you went through chemotherapy and chose not to do it, right? I think the
Yes.
audience will benefit. Our listeners will need to know what type of cancer and what stage of cancer did you have. That will be really helpful.
Yeah. Stage of cancer was 0 to 1. I got diagnosed in April 2019. Previous to that, I had a lump and it was benign. And I was asked to do PET scan every 6 months. That was going on. But then when it came to 2019, I had severe pain. The pain was like as if thousand needles prick on one point. How do you feel? That kind of a feeling. So I felt I should rush to the doctor, and that's how I got to know that I had a tumor, and it was more of a skin cancer. That is what the doctor told me. Initially, in 2019, I underwent only surgery. That is removal of tumor. It was carcinoma of breast cancer.
Okay.
So I underwent breast conservative surgery plus axillary dissection on the left side. So that led to total cut off on the left side. There's no IV cannula. I need to avoid it. IV cannula and the injections on the left arm for lifetime.
Okay.
So this was really bad. Like every time I should remember that I should not use the left arm for certain things. It was like that.
Okay.
And the whole left side had turned out to be numb.
Sure.
Yeah, because of the lymph node dissection.
So your skin cancer was also on the left breast.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So would that be skin cancer or breast cancer?
It is breast cancer, but more on the skin.
Sure.
This is what doctor had told.
Okay.
So that was really disturbing me because my skin complexion was always clear. So there was some kind of fear in me. What is this? What is it going to happen? So fear started. Actually, the first thing for any disease to worsen is you should come out of fear.
Yeah.
Fear factor is something which kills you totally. As such, undergoing surgery and chemo is so painful, you become emotionally, mentally, physically down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that shows up. Even if you say, no, I'm okay. No. We know ourselves that we are not okay. So the first thing is come out of it.
Yeah.
And instead of dreaming that you are going to live for many years, live now. That is what I want to tell everybody.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Sujata. I think that clarifies that we're today going to really focus on early stage cancer.
Yeah.
And that's very important because we do not want information to be misunderstood as well,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
early stage cancer, I think what you're trying to say is there's a lot of other things to strengthen your body, create
Yes,
endurance,
yes.
etc. And we'll talk more about it in the next
Yes.
hour. So you actually took up chemo.
Yes.
What happened? Why did you actually give up chemo?
See, the second time, again, the tumor grew up. That was in 21 December. Again, same kind of pain, same place. So this is where I was totally broken. When I went to doctor, he said, you have to undergo chemo and yours is carcinoma, which is more aggressive. And then they told me to undergo 7 chemos. But any doctor, see, this is the one of the reason why I gave up chemo. They don't assure your life.
Sure. Yeah.
They don't say that with 7 chemos you will be fine and you will never get back.
Right.
There is always a question there. It can come up anytime. So then I thought, why not just think of myself, because my own body and it's my life. So let me make decision on this. So that was one point. I had a very bad experience at hospital end, which led to this. When I went to the hospital for the second chemo, there were few nuns who had joined the hospital, and it was their first week or so. They were too busy. The end of their shift, they were supposed to make a report. So they were involved in that. They had actually increased the speed of the IV. See, once you get admitted for chemo in the morning, it goes on till evening. And this was happening behind me. I had not realized. But I could feel the chillness is increasing from my toe upwards.
Sure.
So when it came to chest, I said, I'm going to run away from hospital. I'm feeling something uneasy.
Yeah.
So then I told my son, please go and call the sisters. I don't know what is happening to me. Then when he checked out, it was their mistake that they had increased the speed
Speed of it. Okay.
because they were ending their shift and they had to make a report.
Yeah.
Apart from that, they brought some two bottles and they said, Madam, you please get this during your next chemo. By mistake, we have added two. It was not required. We cannot give it back to stores.
Yeah.
And please do not give any negative feedback about us because we have joined newly. So that is where I felt, instead of dying of cancer, there are chances of me dying of
Yeah.
somebody's unnoticing certain things
Yeah.
which they were supposed to do during their duty as. So that is where I took a
So
call.
negligence,
Negligence,
and
yeah.
doctors pushing you to think a certain way. All of these reasons basically
Yes.
made you think
See,
differently.
doctors also, they did not come on rounds. Nobody came on rounds. They were not. I was just on the bed
Sure.
and they were administering through IV.
Yeah.
They went on telling about chemo that you should not stop, you should continue. I felt it's not required. Because at one point doctor raised his voice and he said, you seem to be educated, you should continue. That is where I felt, and if you do not continue, you will go to the fourth
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
This is where I felt, no, nobody can tell that whether I'm going to die or live.
Yeah.
It is me. I know what intake I take, what I did all these years. So maybe correction is required from my end.
So relapse, no assurance.
No
All of
assurance.
these reasons have
Yes,
basically
yes,
pushed you.
yes.
So tell us, Sujata, and thank you so much for sharing that. I know it cannot be easy, right? This is
Yeah,
something you're
yes.
reliving the past, and
Yes, yes,
you've
yes.
been so strong through it. So really, thank you for sharing the
It was a
history.
trauma
Yeah.
because when you undergo chemo, all your hair drops.
Yeah.
You know, any lady for that matter,
Yeah.
it can be any human, but to a lady, hair matters a lot.
Yeah.
And then whenever I look at the mirror, I look at myself in the mirror, I used to feel, no, I'm not going to be this.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I wanted to ensure the listeners actually
Yeah.
understand is you have cancer today.
Yes, yes.
It's not that you're cancer free,
Yes.
but the biggest difference is that without chemo, without allopathy, you are actually being very strong. You have a lot of
Yes.
energy. You're in
Yeah.
the last few years, you've been able to live like anybody else who's
Yes,
healthy.
yes.
So, after you gave up the chemotherapy method of
Yes.
treatment, you picked what I classify as something called as naturopathy.
Yes.
You looked at herbs, you looked at many foods, right?
Yes, yes.
Where did you hear about this? How did you stumble upon this, Sujata? Please help us understand, what helped you make that transition towards this?
Yeah, when I was undergoing chemo for the second time,
Yeah.
I had taken almost 12 days leave. So I was within the four walls, not moving out anywhere, not even going near the door to open. I didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't want to talk to anybody. So I was just all alone in my room. So that is where I should thank this digital literacy world.
Yeah.
I started exploring internet. It
Yeah.
was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I just happened to come across Sadhguru's
Yeah.
advices, suggestions how to go about.
Okay.
I tried neem, I tried turmeric. Then I started exploring. I would try out, and I felt I'm energetic. So that is where I started. All these, see, first we have to understand that it is because of the toxins we land up with cancer.
Sure.
So, first thing is cleanse the body, try to remove the toxins. So, he spoke a lot about that.
Sure.
And that is where the magical drink he spoke about, which talks about the white pumpkin, ash gourd.
But was Ashcord linked to, like, even what he says or what you have understood through
Yes,
your
yes,
reading,
yes.
that actually energizes the healthy cells, or it attacks and kills the cancer cells?
It kills the cancer cells.
Okay.
I'll come to it. The cancer cells will have its own death when you avoid food for few hours. That is what we call it as fasting. Ekadashi. Okay. So I started doing that also. Morning, if I have my breakfast, then next will be in the evening.
Sure.
So this also, I started trying many things.
Right.
And finally I concluded with few. It was like that.
Okay.
And I wanted to tell you, I said I was a foodie.
Yes.
I would never think of any day without non-veg. It was that.
Yeah.
But somewhere I felt maybe doing that for all these years, I have landed up in this.
And why is
Because-
that, Sujata? Because a lot of people say that they eat meat, they love meat, but they find it difficult to digest meat, right?
Yes.
And the entire food cycle says that, especially Ayurveda says that eat things which are far away from you in terms of your physicality. So an animal is closer to you,
Yes.
a plant is very far. So
Yes.
actually the digestive process tells you that have something that's very far, it's easy to digest, right? So what
Yes, this
happens
is
with you?
very true because it has happened to me. I've experienced it. See, any meat, it takes almost 72 hours for digestion.
Hmm.
This we need to believe. You can make out. And you always feel your stomach is bloated.
Yeah.
It's not digested.
Yeah.
It's not getting digested. Food is not getting digested. And then the gut feeling
Yeah.
is too bad during chemo because of the medicines.
Hmm.
So it is something unexplainable. Those who have undergone that
Yeah.
will understand that.
Yeah.
It's like that. And once you're undergoing constipation, you can never have smile on your face.
Yeah.
Your face tells that internally you're suffering.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to come out of.
Got it.
So then, whenever I have non-veg, I used to face problem. Then slowly I thought, no, I should give up somewhere or the other. I think
So
this
that
is
was the
trouble.
first step you took towards cutting and changing your diet.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Diet is major thing which you
So let's
need.
talk a little about diet, right?
Yes.
I think for our listeners, and I know you have a few interesting healthy
Yeah.
drinks here. I wanna taste it. I wanna
Yeah.
try it and explain it to our listeners.
Yeah.
But before that, Sujata, what will really help is morning to night. What exactly is your routine? And morning, what do you have? Afternoon, what do you have? Help us understand your entire. How does a day in the life of a cancer patient who's also living with a lot of energy? How does it look
Yes.
like?
See, what I do is previous day night I make slices of lemon or
Hmm.
orange and then put it in a glass filled with water.
Hmm.
The bitterness and the sourness, everything gets infused into that water.
Okay.
So one day I try with lemon, one day I try with only neem leaves because neem is bitter.
Hmm.
It's nice to have the infused water.
Okay.
You don't feel bad about it, you can
Sure.
have. And if at all you feel it's difficult to have that early morning, you can always add little honey and have.
Hmm.
And the first important thing with a cancer patient is to cut off the refined sugar completely.
Sure.
Completely.
Hmm.
You can replace it with jaggery or honey,
Hmm.
but sugar you have to cut off because the cancer cells craves for the sugar
Sugar,
content.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
One
go
is with
through morning till evening if you don't
yes,
mind. That
yes,
will
yes.
really help. So you wake up once you had told me at 4:30. Then what
Yeah,
happens?
yes,
Yeah.
4:30.
Yeah.
But then I don't have drink at 4:30.
Sure.
I finish all my nature call, brushing, and then I take this
Okay.
water.
Okay.
That's the way it is. Many say you can take it before brushing, but I'm used to it.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that change,
Of
it was
course.
difficult for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So after brushing, I take this water.
Okay.
It is very refreshing.
Sure.
And you can have a cup of coffee or after 1.5 hours or 2 hours.
Okay.
But then early morning, this is the
Sure.
best.
Yeah.
And then this water, different I try. One day with lime, one day with orange peel,
Sure.
then one day with pudina and tulasi.
Hmm.
So all whatever is good among the herbs. Then cucumber slices,
Hmm.
the English cucumber, whatever cucumber you can use, but I was
Yeah.
comfortable with the English one.
Yeah.
It is just a small one is
Sure.
enough. So like this, but I made it sure that either I have to take ash gourd
Hmm.
or the cucumber juice or the buttermilk,
Hmm.
adding the gooseberry into it, curry leaves into it. See, actually, since I had lost lot of hair, these two enhances the growth.
Okay. So you wake up.
Yes.
You basically have a drink first, which is
Yes.
prepared the previous day either with lemon, citrus, any
Yes.
of that,
Yes.
and after that you have another drink which is a
Yes. Yes.
concoction of all the things like
Yes.
gooseberries,
Yes.
buttermilk,
Yes.
any of these
Yes.
things through,
Yes.
and you take it at one shot or through the day.
No, what I do is I make a glass to carry it to my office where
Okay.
I work at.
Okay.
And before breakfast, I take at home also.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's
that is
very
there.
helpful to
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, yes,
And
yes, yes.
for breakfast, what do you?
For breakfast, it is simple South Indian breakfast. I have everything.
Idli, dosa.
Idli, dosa,
Yeah.
upma, tomato bath or
And
chitrana,
fermented
whatever it
foods,
is.
they are helpful.
Yes, fermented food. Here we'll have to be careful.
Hmm.
See, you should not allow your body to become more acidic.
Sure.
So what we South Indians do when we make a batter for dosa or idli, first day we try to make idli, second day dosa, then third day we try to add a little bit of onion and other things,
Right.
and try out something. By then, by the third day, it would have got more fermented.
Sure.
I felt with my experience, I felt better to avoid more fermented.
Sure.
The sourness you need to avoid. You need to balance it very well. Always we should remember that we should make our body more alkaline and not acidic.
And so, fresh batter is preferred.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
sure.
Fresh
Sure.
batter is preferred,
Yeah.
and late night I would avoid having
Okay.
dosas or
Okay.
idlis.
And afternoon,
Any
what
fermented.
happens with your schedule, Sujata?
Afternoon, I started having fruits, cut cucumber. So it's like having salad or
Okay.
a carrot.
Okay.
Yes, and along with these juices.
Yeah.
One more, what juice I usually carry? It's not a juice. I take boiled jeera water.
Okay.
One day jeera water, one day ajwain jeera fennel,
Sure.
one day cinnamon, clove, elaichi,
Okay.
and the jeera.
Okay.
Oh, it
So
just
basically, everything that's in your kitchen,
yes,
a
yes,
little bit of
yes.
all your spices,
See,
natural stuff.
all herbs have its goodness of its own, which we need to explore, and it's very nice.
Yeah.
See, when I say now, how do you feel when you look at me?
Absolutely unreal. I
Yes.
cannot believe that you have cancer. And
Re-
probably you look healthier and stronger than me as well.
I will
Yeah.
share my photographs. This
Yeah.
has to be seen by everybody to
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm the living example. It's not that I cannot say that I'm cancer free, but I can say that I have the willpower to strongly live and show the world that the body has the capability of rejuvenating itself,
Yeah.
and you should learn how to make changes in
That's
life.
wonderful to hear. And
This is what is
and the
required.
biggest difference why I wanted your story to come out is also because it's been a few years,
Yeah.
and it can be done, right? And more than most importantly, breast cancer, Indian Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said that the mortality or the death rate for breast cancer in women is the highest in India compared to the world.
Yeah.
So I think it becomes very important at an
Yes.
individual level to really bring out all of the treatments that can
Yes.
actually help us in one way or the other, right?
Yes,
That we
yes.
also need to know that a holistic wellness is very important to
Yes,
adopt,
very much.
irrespective of whether we have a disease or not. Let's come back to dinner. So essentially, you said that you keep it very simple at lunch. There's nothing heavy. So what
Yes.
happens at dinner then?
Dinner by actually 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. I feel very hungry.
Okay.
So there also it is rice or chapati, dal,
Sure.
sabji,
Sure.
and fruits, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruits, varieties of fruits I take.
Yeah.
It can be banana, avocado, pomegranate,
Hmm.
guavas, all varieties of
And
fruits I
anything
take.
better in the morning? Anything? What have you observed with
Kiwi
your
fruit,
body?
I used to continuously take kiwi fruit.
Okay.
These berries are very good, cranberries and blueberries.
Yeah.
So I try to check out what all is good for the cancer patients, and I started having them.
Sure.
Intake of that. See, it is like just every day. How do you get up and brush your teeth and attend to nature?
Yes.
It is just that you have to be cautious and you have to do it every day.
Yeah.
If you're not going for treatment, I feel this if you do,
It's helped
yes,
you.
yes, it's
Okay.
very helpful.
So let's move to body parts.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned to me when we were actually sort of talking for the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
There's a power in the navel. Tell us
Yes,
about
yes.
it.
See, Nabi is such a wonderful. Of course, every organ of our body we need to respect.
Yeah.
That's important,
Yeah.
and we need to give importance to it.
Yeah.
Nabi is called as the second brain of our body.
So nabi is nothing but the navel.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
It is navel, and this is the place where all the veins come to one point. You have heard they have
Is it the
been
nerves or the veins?
veins, veins.
Veins come.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, what happens is it rejuvenates. Any ailment it can rectify.
Sure.
That's the power of this Nabi. So, during olden days, even I remember we used to apply lukewarm oil to
Yes.
that point.
For babies, we do
Yes,
that, right?
yes, yes. It is just the same thing which you need to follow. Just the same thing. It soothes, it eases out your internal ailments.
Right.
Yeah, it's really very nice that you need to experience.
Yeah.
You can use any oil. Each oil has its own goodness, as I told. And even about that, I learned a lot from the internet. So it's just lukewarm oil, and then I used to use the earbud, dip it. Of course, that place is too tiny, just 3 to 4 drops, and you can see it gets absorbed into the body.
Did you do this in the morning, night? When is the best time?
Actually, night.
Night
Night is the
before
best time.
sleeping.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
also are relaxed, right, at
Yes,
that
yes,
time? Yeah.
yes. It is
So
very relaxing.
I just have like I know you've done it for a few years now, more close to
Yeah,
3 years.
yeah,
All of this in a very disciplined,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
and parts of it before as well.
Yes.
Um, when did you start seeing changes? That this is when was that time that you felt that it's working for me? I have made sort of the right decision, and I want to move forward and keep this lifestyle, right, to
Yeah.
help myself.
See, during chemo, I went into depression.
Mm.
I cut off from everybody.
Mm.
Then I started exploring. After that, when I tried to introduce one by one and make changes, I felt I'm getting back to normal. I had the same energy.
Mm.
And people started looking at me and asking, what are you taking? What are you taking? What is your intake? I said, it is all simple drinks made out of all this,
Yes.
but I don't miss out on gooseberries, curry leaves, coriander leaves. I don't miss out on all this. But this is what. Sometimes I used to take even this beetroot and coconut,
Yeah.
beetroot, coconut, elaichi, and jaggery.
Okay.
Okay, so like this, I found out different alternatives.
Right.
It is not the same drink every day. Just make some changes. And I know that the curd is a probiotic, which when you consume, it can kill the bad bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I started using curd every day. Earlier I wouldn't use. So I started using that. So like that I tried to I would make buttermilk. More than curd, it was buttermilk
Yeah.
with all
So
these
maybe it took you
ingredients.
a few months, you think,
Yes,
to
yes.
see the difference?
Yes, almost 6 months it took.
Because this is important for our listeners,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. See, it
Yeah.
doesn't happen
Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah.
And any change you start, continue it for at least 48 days. Any change.
So why 48 days?
This is what is universally told by any Ayurvedic person to take any medicine for 21 days or 48 days. So that is where I try to
Yeah.
follow them. I've heard them say and I followed. But nobody told me that you do it. This is all I told you. A lot of information I collected from net.
Yeah.
And you have to be positive.
Yeah.
No negativity in you.
And what
Very,
about
very
exercise,
important.
Sujata? Did you do anything?
Exercises, I was too bad in that. More other than the stretches, I wouldn't do anything. Of course, during COVID time, I came to know about these doctors from Pune hospital, how they fought for. They wouldn't go to their houses; they were in the hospitals. The simple exercise I tried to follow. It is all with these two palms.
Okay, tell us more about that.
Yeah, it is rubbing,
So rubbing.
then hitting like this.
Hitting like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does it
And
do?
it activates all your nerve
okay,
endings.
okay.
Yeah. Then doing like this, it
Okay.
increases the blood
Oh,
circulation.
okay. So first thing in the morning, can I start with this?
Yeah.
Through the day, can I do
Yes,
it?
yes. It's not easy. When you do all this, no, everything gets activated. See, all our nerve endings are here
Yeah.
in the tips.
Is this what the doctors did during COVID
Yes,
as well?
yes, exactly.
That's very interesting. So
Yeah.
when I finish my meditation and I
Yeah.
practice a lot of yoga, after the practice, they always tell us to heat this up and also rub
Yeah,
it all over.
clapping.
Clapping.
There are
That's a
so
beautiful
many,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
clapping, rubbing.
Yeah.
Then even this turning at
Okay.
your wrist, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's all with these two.
Yeah.
It doesn't take more than, I think, 7 minutes for the
Okay.
complete exercise.
Okay.
And I used to do 13 times. I do not know why I stuck to that 13 times. Maybe after that I started getting the pain, but
do
on both
it,
sides.
basically.
On both
Okay.
sides.
That's beautiful. I do want to come back to the drinks. What you have brought this so that our listeners can see it as well.
Yeah.
What is this?
That is buttermilk
Okay.
with curry leaves,
Okay.
gooseberry. I think salt is less, but jeera, ginger,
Amazing. It's just what
pudina.
people do at home.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just
Particularly
that.
in the south of India,
Yeah.
this is very common to have.
Yeah.
And this is
This is jeera,
okay.
then ajwain,
Okay.
then clove.
Wow, this is really tasty as well, right? So these are the two drinks that you have through the day.
Yes.
Is it okay from a gut health point of view to mix these two? Like when I'm having this, can I have
Yeah,
this? It
jeera
doesn't
is
matter.
very good for digestion.
No, but they
Jeera
say
is a
right.
must.
But they say that don't mix certain kinds of
Nine, nine,
foods as
nine.
well. But this
Even with
can,
buttermilk, you add jeera.
right?
Curd rice, you
Correct.
add
Yeah, of
jeera for
course,
seasoning.
of course, yeah.
So there's
So it's
nothing like
totally
that. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
See, when you consume meat, you will have to think of what you should not mix along with meat.
Yeah.
Whereas these you can always have.
Yeah, that's really nice. And thank you for bringing
Yeah,
this. I really like it.
yeah,
I do try jeera a lot.
yes.
I have it first thing in the morning with
Fennel is
barley.
very good.
That's great. Fennel is
Yeah,
another great
yes,
digestive
yes.
thing. But they also give you a lot of good food and energy to fight cancer, isn't it?
See, I did not go to take anything of that sort. Why I tell you, I was very much against chemo, but it was because of my family members who forced me. They said, you
Yes.
have to go for chemo. I went for chemo. Otherwise, my heart and mind had not accepted. At home, my son was very upset. He wouldn't talk to me, and even my daughter in law. They felt everything is there, money is there. What is your problem? Why cannot you not continue? If doctor has told 7 chemos, do it. Yeah, I said nothing. I don't want anybody to play with my life. It's my life. First thing is, I learned that I should be independent. That is what I liked in my journey of this struggle. I became very independent.
And what about your colleagues at work?
Colleagues at
And
work,
friends, of course. Yeah.
friends, of course, see, I told you during this chemo, no, it makes you feel that you need space. I try to cut off from many because I felt too many intakes from each person, no. I was not knowing how to go about. So I felt cut off from everybody. And you think about your body and mind, what it tells you, what you talk to your own body and mind. You know your intake, you know what you like, you know if you have to make a change, it is possible only by you.
So initially, I think once we had spoken that initially they thought, oh, she's gonna anyways die. But in 6, 7 months after you started taking your treatment, they realized, oh my God, what is this? You're looking so energetic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the bad thing was, many of them who were diagnosed cancer
Okay.
uh, at the workplace passed away. They they were diagnosed cancer after me, but they rushed up with chemo, and then they were no more.
Okay.
And one of my own boss, he himself passed away.
Yeah.
So he would always tell me, my wife has done research in chemo. I will help you out. So you please don't quit chemo. You should continue.
Again, we're not saying as part of the podcast at least that don't do it. Take your advice, consultation,
Yes,
but do
yes,
try good diet, make better choices
yes,
to get
yes,
stronger,
yes,
essentially, to even
yes,
endure it and hopefully
yes.
overcome it, right?
I feel it is too much to do with mentally. See, mentally, if you feel I'm a cancer patient, you're going to die with that. Come out of that. Lead a normal life. You know where to cut off. What I would do, I would never get into parties.
Yeah.
I will attend everything. When it comes to eating or drinking, I'll just move out from there.
Interesting.
So that self control is required.
Yeah.
Self discipline and self control is a must.
Sure.
Sometimes you do cheat when having food. Like suppose some child comes to give a
Yeah,
chocolate.
you, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. But apart from that, you should always remember, no, you should not do this because you are not going for chemo.
Yeah.
So you have to do
Yeah.
this.
Back then, your family actually was so against it. But now it's been more than a few years. How are they reacting now?
They are okay. They feel that I'm very active. But then, even if I have a small headache, I cannot tell them because they feel you didn't do chemo, no, maybe
They
something like
still
it.
don't believe in what
They
you've done.
don't believe because young generation will believe only the doctors. They don't believe.
But the younger generation is also getting more curious, better
They are
informed.
curious, but if they are always with pizzas and burgers, nobody can help them. This is, I want to tell you, the food habit matters a lot.
Yeah. But thank you for being very honest because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it seems to be that you're individually enduring it.
Yes,
But what is
yes.
your support system? You have friends, you have others who actually are supportive of this?
Yes, yes.
Sure.
They are all my well wishers. I have lovely friends who every day check out on me.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Suppose I'm cut off for a week or so, they get back to me. I have lovely friends.
Okay. And they all believe that you're doing the right thing as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now that they've seen the results,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
Sujata?
They have
So,
appreciated, they have
mhm.
told, good, continue the same.
Sure.
This is what.
Wonderful.
Maybe I was lucky enough
Mm.
that I was from 0 to 1 and I
Yeah.
could manage.
Yeah. And
Mm,
that's what we are emphasizing, that do it early
yes.
enough so that you can prevent it. And we had another lady who had come who had a lumpectomy. She said everything was about doing plant forward. I just got the right technique to food so that it doesn't repeat. So everybody is in the process of prevention, actually.
This is one of the reason. Do not go to do anything against your mind and body. Very, very important.
But
You
sometimes we
have
may
to
not
be.
have the information, and that's why we rely on doctors, right? So,
See, I'll tell you, I never knew anything about cancer. If anybody talks about cancer, I would run away and think that me and cancer, no
yeah.
way,
Yeah.
unless and until it happened to me.
Hmm.
And then I told you, we need to thank for this beautiful digital literacy world. Wherever I was able to collect information. Only thing, you should know how to choose it.
Correct. What right
Yes,
information and where is
yes,
it
yes.
coming from becomes crucial. Yeah.
So do not go for anything which, when you take internally, it can harm you. What can harm you? It is the tabs.
Right.
Suppose they say this tab, you can use it and you will be
Tablets,
free.
you mean? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So never go to do
So, what do
that.
your doctors have to say? Do they know that you're doing so
No,
well?
I haven't gone to them.
Okay.
See, it is not that I'm trying to do something against them.
Yeah.
It is just to say that I'm able to be alive
Yeah.
with my own changes in life.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to tell one more thing. The
Yes.
dry grapes are excellent
Sure.
for cancer patients, and they say that the seeds of the seeds of the grapes, with that they make tablets for cancer.
Oh,
And
okay.
also curcumin, that is the
The curcumin
turmeric.
is the main component of
Yes, yes,
turmeric. Yeah.
yes,
But this is something that even the US has adopted. Right.
yes.
Yeah.
They have patented it. We have not done that.
Yes.
We use it every day.
Centuries together.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's right.
It's the same thing. Make a small globulate of turmeric and neem. Turmeric you can somehow manage to have, but while having neem, you feel uneasy. So that's why I tried that infusing of
Sure.
neem leaves.
Sure.
You can have that drink. It's
Sure.
wonderful. Even if you do not have cancer, you can have that
Sure.
once in a while.
Great. So let's come back.
Yeah.
What do you think your doctors would say if you went back to them today? The doctors who said that it's going to be fourth stage, third stage, aggressive cancer, and today it's not that, right? So what do you have to say to the
When they
medical
have done
fraternity?
research for years together and they have studied that for years together, they are not going to sit and believe me.
Hmm.
It's that.
Hmm.
Nobody, suppose somebody comes and tells something regarding electronics, they say, this is not the way, you should have done it this way. So, unless and until I experience that, execute it, I may not believe. So,
Yeah.
same way, doctors will not. It is not, again, I want to tell you, it is not about telling the doctors that, see, I'm fine. It is that I want to tell the all the public that try out the way I tried out, you will experience it. But I'm telling it is from 0 to 1 stage. A
Yeah.
person with 4 stage should not go to
Yeah.
try out and say
Yeah.
that it did not work out. And then trying for 1 day and saying, or 1 week and saying that it's not working
Yeah.
out is also not right.
I
I
think
told
the
you.
most important thing is to live with healthier choices.
Yes.
Where if you started it earlier, it could have been that maybe we
Yes,
cannot
yes.
prevent cancer because we don't know the reasons entirely of cancer. We just as a society, it's coming up. Even if you did everything right, you're getting cancer. But
Yes.
along with that, could we have prevented it? Could we have done everything in our control by having amazing drinks and food like this? Is the question at large, right, for
Yes.
society?
See, I have never had gooseberries.
Yeah.
I've never had curry leaves. Means I would have kept it aside. When we try to have food,
Yeah.
we remove the curry
Curry
leaves and
leaves
keep,
aside,
yeah,
right?
the goodness of it I had not
Yeah, very true.
understood
Very true.
at that time.
Very true. And like earlier when I started doing it, it's just for selfish reasons, superficial reasons for my hair. But now, as I'm educating myself over the last 5, 6 years, even more when I stepped into my 40s, I've realized it's so important that we make better choices for our own diet and health, right? I want to ask something a little different. Coming home and closer to your family, have they been able to also change their diet? What's going
No,
on?
Because, see, as I told you, I did my surgery in 2019,
Yeah.
and I felt now I've done my surgery, I don't think I'm going to get it back. But in 21 December, it relapsed because I neglected. We were renovating house. I was going through a bad phase.
Yeah.
My husband had passed away. So
Yes.
all this,
Yes.
I got into depression. It was difficult for me to come out. I was very dependent on everybody.
Yeah.
I slowly learned that the hard way. And thanks to Namayatri also, because for everything I was so dependent, even to take me to the bus stop, I was taking help of my husband.
Yeah, please.
Just, I was very dependent. So this taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
Come on, come out of your comfort zone and you have to explore.
Yeah. That's fine. Take a moment. It's totally okay.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing, Sujata. Where today the way we are talking, it's really going to make a very big difference to people
Yes.
to start early, right?
Yes.
And even the interesting thing is that I had another friend who lost her father to cancer. When they go to allopathic, methodologies, they always told her, "You can go to Ayurveda, you can do naturopathy, you can do other things, but don't come to us." But when they went to the other side and talked to practitioners of the other holistic well-being, methods, they said, "Do allopathy also, but we can give you things that you can, sort of strengthen your life with as well, right?" Why is there this difference? I just simply cannot understand, because what you're saying, it just is so intuitive. It comes like, yeah, of course I can have jeera. Of course, it's such a natural thing, right? Is this a lobby? What is going on ultimately?
It is like when you take an apple and you take a burger, apple gets rotten.
Hmm.
So you know that it has life.
Hmm.
Whereas burger, even if you keep it for few days on a table, it doesn't. It takes time to get rotten.
Yeah.
So use something which gets rotten very fast. The perishable ones.
Rather than tablets and things
Yes,
like that. Yeah.
yes. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. But again, we are saying that in extreme stages, when it's stage 3 and above, etc.
See,
Or
the
even stage 2.
stages,
Yeah.
with my experience, what I felt is when they did the surgery, again, same place, just after another 1 or 2 years, I'm getting the same thing,
Yeah.
same place with a bigger size of tumor. So, what I felt that when they do the surgery or when they do FNAC, when they do biopsy, they disturb that place. You cannot collect the cancer cells and throw out. You would have tried to scoop out that area. But then, even if one cell, bad cell, remains there, the
Sure.
cancerous cell, again you can get it back.
Yeah.
So I felt the other methods of reducing the lump I should have tried.
Yeah.
Hot water bag method. There
Yeah.
are exercises,
Yeah.
lymph node exercises. These are the ones which we need to do in
Yeah.
our daily routine.
Routine, that's the main thing. So, is there anything that I did not ask you about diet, food, exercise that I may have missed out that you want to share further?
Yeah, I felt how does the government should look at cancer patients? See, maybe today I was able to afford those lakhs, or the company in which I'm working can afford it. Whereas when we think it happens to a common man,
Yeah.
an uneducated or downtrodden, how do they cope up?
Yeah.
Is death the only thing which is going to happen to them? They also like to lead a life. Why can't government look at this
Yeah.
and say free of medicine, medical treatment for anybody, let it be diabetic or anybody? At that time, whatever business goes on in the field of medicine will die down. It will have
Wow.
its own death. This is what I feel. Then we say we did this. Of course, when it happened in 2016, I think that's the time where demonetization happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think in the month of August or so. Nobody had accepted in the world. I mean, in India, nobody accepted it. We were all so upset. We felt, what is this change? But then today we are happy to use phone pay, GPay, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in the same way, Let them bring a change. This is very important.
Yeah.
You need to be healthy to do anything and to achieve
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Then why not government think of this
Yeah.
and bring a change?
Yeah. And especially with the rising, we're
Yes,
soon going to be
yes.
called as cancer capital along with
Yes,
diabetes capital of
yes.
the world.
One more
Yeah.
thing keeps bugging me. That's to talk about alcohol.
Sure.
We may make lot of money,
Yeah.
revenue, and because of which government may not be talking
Yeah.
about this, but then even that is required. How many deaths due to alcohol?
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
And bringing awareness to public is very important.
Sure.
From schools, colleges, it has to start. Because when I visited hospital, I have seen even 2-year-old babies suffering from cancer.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's ageless,
It
right?
could be for the wrong intake of food by the mother when it was in the womb itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the child, because it wouldn't have tasted anything much within the 2 years. So I felt somewhere we are going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't we get back all those
Yeah.
in schools and colleges?
Absolutely, it's a great message.
Yes,
So as we come to the end of our beautiful, knowledgeable, and I would say gutsy conversation,
yes.
what is your final message, Sujata, for anyone who's going through cancer?
Believe in yourself,
Yeah,
remove the fear factor from you,
yeah,
live in hope, be ready to take risk. You cannot succeed without risks.
yeah,
This is the experience what I have had,
yeah,
not only from the medical end,
yeah,
from the career end also.
yeah,
You should have the guts to live,
yeah.
face the humiliations, come out of it.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that. You have been working, you have grandchildren, you are
Yeah,
running a
yes.
family,
Yeah,
everything at the same time, right? So,
yes.
and you really look healthy. And I really hope that you continue to stay strong,
Yeah,
healthy, and energetic and keep inspiring us. So,
thank
thank
you.
you for coming to Vitamin B. It's been a very enriching
I'm very,
conversation.
very
Yeah.
happy. It was a dream come true. Always I
Wonderful.
would think I should speak out. I
Yeah.
should speak out what is happening in me. Because I told you I and went into depression. That was too bad. Too bad it was. I even thought of death. I even
Mm.
wanted to resign my job. But then I came out of all that and I said,
Yeah.
nothing doing.
Yeah.
We should live.
Yeah.
And let us not be selfish to end our lives just because something good did not happen to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Let us show the world that we can survive, live better, help the others, and make others know that they also can lead a beautiful life.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful message, and thank you again.
Thank
We
you.
hope to sort of keep hearing about you and your
Yeah,
better health.
surely.
Yeah, thank you.